Hey, good evening. Happy Monday night. I hope you guys had a great day. I am a little bit later than I had planned to be, but I am packed. Remember, I came on last night and talked about the fact that I promised that I was going to be packed and I was going to be packed earlier. And I actually have been packed for a while tonight, but we are getting everything ready around here because we're leaving tomorrow. So even though the packing was done and actually the cooking was done, and we had a lot of packing to do because we had to pack up ourselves, we had to pack up our kids, right? And then it was just getting everything wrapped up and ready. And I personally like to wait till everybody's gone to bed until it's quiet in the house to go live. So even though I was ready before, like I said I would be, because I work hard to hold to the commitments that I make. I am going live a little bit later because I was waiting for the quiet of the house. Everybody's quiet, and this is my favorite time of night. And after I do this, I'm hopefully going to go get some sleep because I got a long few days ahead of me, a long, awesome, amazing few days ahead of me. For those of you who don't know, my husband and Micha and I are headed back down to Orlando, back to my happy place. We'll be at Disney the next 2 days, celebrating our anniversary a little bit early because usually we go away right around our anniversary, but this year our anniversary actually happens to be the same day as Emma's bat mitzvah. Hey, Gail. So there will not be celebrating our anniversary at the end of the summer this year like normal. So we're going a couple days early to celebrate our anniversary. And then we are headed off to an awesome, amazing health coaching conference convention so that we can learn and be educated and really just pull in all the amazing information that we can possibly have so that we can come back and share it with you and help get everybody, help continue to get everybody healthy. Amy, what kind of cooking? Oh, so all kinds of cooking. So I don't travel without taking my own food. So I have chicken made. I have green beans made. I have lots of hard-boiled eggs made. We also have stuff prepped for my kids to leave behind. So there was plenty of chicken for them, and I made them. They love this chicken and rice dish, and we made them quiche to leave behind for lunches, and pizza for them to leave behind for lunches, and chopped up vegetables. I think that's all we made. Oh, and I made my kids muffins because normally I make them a hot breakfast, and so since I'm not going to be here to make them hot breakfast, I make the healthy muffins out of the Kodiak cakes, so they'll have those for breakfast. We pack up all our own food. I always travel with all my own food so that I don't have to think about it and I can know that I'm eating exactly what I'm eating and that I'm eating the right stuff. So it's all been cooked, it's been weighed and measured out and all portioned out exactly so that tomorrow morning before we go catch our flight, I'll pack the cooler and we'll be good to go. But tonight I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, hydration, right? I am big on hydration. And actually, I haven't been talking about it a lot recently. And so I thought it was time to pop back in here and give people a quick refresher reminder. And for some of my new Facebook friends who are just tuning in, who may not have heard some of my tips on hydration before, I wanted to share them with you guys. Because hydration is really super important, especially, finally today the weather cooled back off, but we had this crazy heat wave over the weekend, and I know we're heading back down to Orlando where it's super duper hot. Hey, Casey, I can't wait to see you in a couple of days. But hydration is really, really important, and it's really important year round. People think that in the winter, because it's not as hot, they don't need to drink as much water, but they definitely do. But that's not what I'm focusing on tonight, because we'll focus on that when the weather starts to shift in the winter. Amy, am I going to see you at convention? I hope, maybe, possibly. But tonight I want to talk about summertime hydration and the importance of it, right? We had this crazy heat wave the last few days, and I know I spoke to a bunch of people who were dehydrated, who were having symptoms of dehydration, and they didn't even realize that was what was going on in the beginning, right? And so it's something to be really careful about and take very seriously, because if you let yourself get dehydrated, you can end up in the hospital with an IV in your arm, and trust me, that is not fun. Not fun. So I want to give you some tips on hydration. And right, we're headed back to Disney tomorrow, and I can guarantee to you we stay well hydrated there. I don't go anywhere without my water bottle, right? Water bottle. Refilling it constantly throughout the day. I highly recommend carrying a water bottle with you at all times, right? because, whatever water bottle you use, you need to be consistently drinking. And the problem is when you're not consistently drinking, and I know people get worried about it because they're always running to the bathroom, but that's okay. First of all, your body adjusts to that, but that's okay, because if you're not, then you're getting dehydrated. And by the time you feel thirst, you are already dehydrated, right? By the time you feel thirsty, you're actually already on that process to dehydration. So that's not good. So the first tip is always carry a water bottle with you, right? Always have it. There's always places to refill them. It's super important. The second thing is drink the right amount of water. I don't know if you know, does anybody know that's listening, what is the right amount of water to be drinking? Does anybody know? I'm going to give you a second because I know that there's a delay on Facebook, on live, that I talk and you guys don't hear it for a few more seconds. So stick in the comments if you know, what is the right amount of water for somebody to be having. It's something, and there are a lot of different opinions on this, but pretty much everyone has one similar opinion. And so, since nobody's responding and I've given you guys some time to chime in, though I know some of you on this call who are watching know the answer to this. But so everybody, an adult should be drinking a minimum of 64 ounces of water in a day, right? So water is straight water, from your tap, from your filter, from, whatever. You can also use herbal tea, can count towards that because that's towards your fluids. We try not to count in things that have a lot of added, like artificial sweeteners, even like those things don't count towards your water. A lot of times those are actually dehydrating and not hydrating. So yay, Casey got it, 64 ounces. So 64 ounces is really, that should be the minimum for anyone, for any adult, right? And then actually kids really starting over about the age of 8 or so should be having 64 ounces of water as well in a day. And I really work with my kids on this because it's super important. And my middle notices when she doesn't drink enough water, she ends up with a headache. And Amy answered half your body weight in ounces. Yes, that is, if you're looking for weight loss, you go up to half your body weight in ounces. Now, one caveat with that is you got to be really careful because it depends on where you're getting your fluids from. You want to watch, and you want to watch actually your urine, because if it's too clear, right, you want sort of a pale yellow urine. And I know this is a weird topic to be talking about, but it's really important to know because too much water is just as bad as not enough, right? If you have too much and your urine is totally clear, you're flushing out all the electrolytes, which your body needs. So you want to have that good balance. And so half your body weight in ounces of water is really usually a good amount, unless you're getting fluids from a lot of things, right? If you're eating a lot of high water volume vegetables, that's going to give you more fluids, or same with fruits. High water volume fruits will also do that. Or if you're drinking tea or you're drinking other things. So you want to be you really want to be careful with that. So making sure that you're drinking the right amount of water is super important. The next thing, highly recommend drinking water with every meal, right? That helps. Not only does it help you stay hydrated, but also can help you improve your digestion. If you're hydrated, your body produces the proper amount of saliva, which breaks down your food, and the nutrition can then be absorbed better into your body. So I actually start my morning first thing in the morning with a full bottle of water, 20 ounces of water right away. That's how I kickstart my day every day. It gets my body moving, and I do drink water with every single meal. And also in between throughout the day, I'm constantly sipping on meals. So that's super important. The next thing, make sure you're eating your vegetables, right? Because, and I said this before, your vegetables have other water in it. They help keep you hydrated. Your food choices are a major contributor to your hydration and account for about 20% of your daily fluid intake, right? The vegetables and the fruits that we choose to have. Vegetables that are higher in water include lettuce, celery, bok choy, cucumbers, tomatoes are also higher in water, right? So those things help increase those fluids, which is why I said, yes, you want up to half your body weight in ounces of water, but if you're eating a lot of those higher water vegetables, you may not need to get half your body weight. You may just need to you may be okay at that 64 ounces. That's why you want to watch how your body responds. The next thing is hydrate really, like, very intentionally, right? Know when you're hydrating. If you've been out sweating and hot, right, you're going to need to hydrate more. And actually in the winter, and like I said, I'm not going to get too much into the winter, when you're out in the real cold, that dries out your skin and that dries you out. So you definitely want to hydrate with a purpose. Sometimes, adding a squeeze of lemon or lime to flavor up your water, or dropping in some cucumbers, right? Or some mint leaves, right? Will give your water a little bit of flavor, which is nice. So making sure, if you struggle with plain water, those are great ways to increase your water intake in a healthy way. I would say don't squeeze. If you're going to drop fruit in, don't squeeze the fruit in, because you're just squeezing the sugars in. Just drop it in and let it infuse a little bit. Or if you have one of those infuser bottles, right, where the fruit goes into the center and it just sort of infuses out. And the key things with all of this is you need to be able to recognize the signs of dehydration. Right? I know I've talked about this a lot before, but I'm going to reiterate them because it's really important to know. So symptoms of dehydration, the first sign of dehydration is actually thirst, right? If you're feeling thirsty, that is the first sign of dehydration. When you get a headache, when you get muscle cramps, when you feel fatigue. So if you're feeling fatigue a lot, it could be dehydration. I hear this a lot from people, where they are just wiped out, especially in the afternoons. And when they kick up their water, all of a sudden that goes away. So they don't change anything else, and that makes a big difference. So fatigue is a big one that you don't realize. And obviously, if you start to get dizzy, if you start to feel nauseous, a lot of times those are signs, but those are more extreme signs of dehydration. So we want to catch it before that. So when you start to feel yourself feeling those earlier things, those earlier signs, definitely start chugging the water. And if you're getting to the point where you're getting headachy and or crampy, right, past the thirst where water is going to quench it, you want to make sure you get some electrolytes in there. You can buy electrolyte water, Powerade Zero or Gatorade Zero. Those things have the electrolytes in them. I don't love them because I don't love the artificial sweeteners in them, or even just regular Powerade or regular Gatorade because of all the sugar. Those are crazy high in sugar. But if you're feeling that way, that you're getting that headachy and your electrolytes are off, because that's a lot of times what happens, go ahead and have something salty, right? Maybe a couple dill pickle spears will help, because it rebalances that out, and it helps your body then hold the water as you drink more of it to help you get hydrated. So those are just some of my hydration tips for tonight. And, I like to remind this because I know, I'm headed back down to where it's really hot again, right? And when I was in Florida a couple weeks ago, we were chugging water like crazy, right? I was drinking a lot more than half my body weight in ounces because we were hot and sweating all day. So you have to pay attention to that. What is the climate that you're in, right? And sometimes, if you're in a really hot, you need more. If you're pregnant, right? A pregnant woman needs more water. Athletes who are exercising in the heat need extra fluids to stay hydrated because you're sweating a lot more of it out. So you want to pay attention to that. Pay attention to your environment. And it's really super important. I don't want to hear about, you guys coming to me because you've had heat stroke over the summer, or you've gotten dehydrated and ended up in the hospital. Actually, my kids, when we were at Disney the last time and we were standing in line, we were talking to somebody who was behind us, and they heard me talking to my kids about making sure that they were drinking enough water. And he chimed in and he said, please drink enough water. He said, last week I didn't have enough water and I ended up really dehydrated in the hospital for 2 days. So that sort of shook my kids up, because here it was, and he was actually a Marine. And so they had already been hearing about him being a Marine and, him being in the service and, all this stuff. And then they heard that he had gotten dehydrated and been in the hospital for 2 days because of dehydration, because he didn't drink enough water. So we were all chugging the water because it was really, really hot that day. It was one of those days where it was, 110 plus the heat index was crazy. So it's super important, right? Most of us are done with this current heat wave, but it's the middle of the summer, right? It's only July. So I expect us to get another 1 or 2 this summer of these crazy heat waves. So just remember and stay hydrated. And, I'll give my little plug for my Hydrate Spark, which I love, which helps me keep track of how much water I should be drinking. And, it keeps it in the app. So if you have questions about the Hydrate Spark, feel free to reach out and I can tell you more about that. But those are my 2 cents for tonight. Stay hydrated. That's sort of my reminder to myself. Also, if you're traveling, this is another piece as I sign off, as you're traveling, because I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. When you fly, your body dehydrates when you fly. So it's super, super important to pump up your water before you fly, the day before. So today I was drinking plenty of water while you're on that plane, and then for the next day, afterwards, to continue to rehydrate. That's super important, because your body dehydrates from that change in pressure. So I hope you have a great night. I'm going to wrap it up here so I can go finish taking care of the last few things I have to do, so I can go get some healthy sleep before I head off down to Orlando. But we will for sure be live from Orlando, and sharing what we're learning. The conference starts Wednesday night. We have a big celebration. And then officially it kicks off on Thursday, where we're going to be learning all kinds of amazing things about how to help get the world healthy. And helping other people get healthy is something that, if you watch what I do and say, wow, I want a piece of what she's doing, reach out, because I'm looking for people who want to help spread the word of health. And I have an awesome opportunity for anyone who's interested in it that is starting very soon. Some amazing free training to teach you how to be able to do this too. So please feel free to reach out and we will chat. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you back here sometime tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.